Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, we're going to be doing a story time. It's a pretty juicy one. But I want to start off by saying, the point of this video is for me to have fun and tell a story. The point of the channel is for me to have fun, tell my travel adventures, show my travel adventures, tell stories. I'm just using it as a creative outlet. And we just need everyone just to do themselves. You know what I mean? That did not sound right. What I'm trying to say is, life is all about trying new things, doing what you want to do and what you love to do. And I think us as people need to worry a little bit less about everyone else's judgment and worry about doing what makes them happy. And so that is what I'm gonna do. So if you like the channel, if you like the video, then that's awesome. If you don't, that's still fine. But I'm just doing something that makes me happy. So that being said, that concludes my little rant for the day. Okay, so let's jump into the story. You're probably wondering, how does one track Miley Cyrus down and end up at her private party? A crazy person would know. Literally crazy. So it all starts back, this was about a year ago, but now that I'm doing this YouTube thing, I thought that would be a really good story to tell because I feel like people post things a lot and sort of, well, I don't know if you want to know, but I feel like when I see things a lot of times, I like want to know what the background is, how exactly it happened. Last year, just almost exactly a year ago, maybe a year and a couple months, everyone sort of was going off to college, doing their own thing. One of my best friends, Haley, moved to Nashville to go to college. My cousin, Lauren, also lives in Nashville. She started a whole country music page that has become really successful, so she now has a house in Nashville and her office is downtown. So essentially, I decided that I was going to take a little weekend trip, visit Haley, and visit my cousin Lauren, sort of spend a couple days with both of them, do a bunch of fun things, see Nashville, because I actually had never gone there, even though it's not far at all. Like, it was a 30-minute flight. So anyway, that being said, I planned a little weekend trip, and me being me, I was like joking with my friends a few days leading up to me going away because I saw that Miley Cyrus had moved there, just doing her thing in Nashville. Her and Liam and the dogs were all just chilling in their new house. So I was making jokes leading up to that with my friends, just being like, I'm gonna meet Miley Cyrus. What are the odds I meet Miley Cyrus? But like as a joke, because random things always happen to me. I have so many stories to tell, so many random stories to tell. But anyway, the day came that I was going to Nashville. And keep in mind, I really would not go out of my way to find a celebrity. I'm not that crazy. I'm boarding on my flight, and then I get a text from my cousin Lauren. So, little background on my cousin Lauren, since she runs the whole country music page, she gets all of the inside scoop on what celebrities are doing, that kind of thing, because that's basically her job, is to tweet about them, to post on Facebook, all of their social media pages about what's going on. So I get a text, and it was something along the lines of, hey, just thought I'd let you know Miley Cyrus is having a private album release party for family and friends and a few select fans in Nashville the day after I arrive. I was like, you're kidding. You're kidding. I'm going to be in Nashville. Her office is downtown. I'm going to find where it is. And one way or another, I'm going to this party. I'm kind of freaking out about this. I get on my flight. Haley picks me up. We just sort of spend the day doing whatever, exploring the city, that kind of thing. Later that night, she dropped me off at my cousin Lauren's, and I spent the night with Lauren. And Lauren didn't know that much. All she basically knew was that the next night, Miley Cyrus was going to be having her private album release party. So Lauren had invited me to go to work with her the next day. So I decided I'd bring my backpack, go to her office the next morning when she went into work, and sort of just plug in my laptop, do homework throughout the day. So I did that the next morning, brought my stuff there to her office, was doing work, and all of the tea was getting spilled. I don't say that. I don't know why I said that. So all of the writers that work with Lauren were there, and they were all sort of talking about it because obviously I was asking questions. I needed answers. Essentially, I didn't get much information. You're literally not going to believe me. I decided I would go out and just sort of look around to see if I could find where it was. I didn't know how exactly I was going to figure it out, but since I was spending the day at her office building while Haley was in class doing her thing, I just decided to go explore the main downtown streets of Nashville by myself, walk around, see what was going on. I kid you not, I walked out of Lauren's building, walked half a block down the street, and saw this little alleyway. I looked down the alleyway. All of a sudden, all of these massive balloons, massive cotton candy sculptures, all of these other random, just Miley Cyrus colorful things. Like, you just know. All of it was being unloaded from the back of this truck into the back of the building. I saw this, and you just know this is where it is going to be happening. So, in my mind, I'm like, okay, what is my next plan of action? Like, what am I going to do to finesse the F out of this situation, to get into this private party? So, as one does, he takes to Twitter. Twitter's not even up on my phone. I don't go on Twitter ever, but I do know that it's pretty helpful if you just sort of need to figure some things out. So I go on Twitter and I search something along the lines of Miley Cyrus album release party or Miley Cyrus party. Something like that. Start digging, scrolling. So I found a tweet from a random girl saying that she got an invite to this party. So then I started looking deeper and deeper into it. Basically found out that all of these people that got invites, just like the 20 or 30 people out of her billions of fans, I found out that each one of the people that she invited get a +1, which I guess makes sense because, I mean, obviously I would go by myself, but I'm sure, like, if you live in a different city and you're road tripping or whatever, it's nice to bring a friend. So I start digging more and more. I'm back at Lauren's office at this point, just sort of like doing my thing. So eventually, after looking deeper and deeper into it, I found this sweet girl, and she posted something. I don't know why I said girl. She was like 30, but she was sweet. She posted something along the lines of, OMFG, I just got invited personally to Miley Cyrus's album release party for Younger Now. And I saw it and I was like, ah, golden, found someone. This isn't me trying to use anyone, because obviously, like, if they're bringing a friend, they're bringing a friend. That's amazing. I DM'd her and started asking questions. I wanted to know how she got an invite, where she was coming from, that kind of thing, when she was going to be getting to Nashville. I just basically wanted to meet up with her and talk to her. She was actually really nice. She DM'd me back, said when she was going to be getting there, and she said that someone else that she knows actually got an invite too. She explained to me that the other person that she knows that got an invite did not have someone that they were bringing. So she told me that she was going to talk to them, and this is one of those situations where it's like, is she actually going to talk to them? Like, who would actually go out of their way? Like, this person's probably on cloud 9 that they're going to a Miley Cyrus private party. The last thing that they're going to worry about is trying to get another person in, because it just, like, why, like, anyway, she actually did reach out to this person. An hour later, she texted me back. She told me where she was in the city, which was literally, again, a block from her building where she was hanging out. I think she was just getting drinks or going out to eat or something. So I met up with her, and she was with her friend that she was bringing with her, and she explained to me that the other person that she knows was going to be getting there much later, closer to when the party was actually starting, which kind of gave me anxiety, because I was like, ugh, what if it doesn't work out? But that's honestly irrelevant, because why should I be concerned? It's like, either it works or it doesn't. This is my one opportunity to get in. So at this point, I texted Haley, freaking out. I was like, you will not believe right now what's happening. Like, I'm in the city. I knew she was still in class, but I was like, basically everyone that's going to this party, like the 20 or 30 fans that are going to this party, each get a +1. And so I was like, Haley, as soon as you are off of class, you need to drive here immediately. Haley is just as outgoing, extroverted as me, so I knew that she would have no problem with this. But the game plan was basically for her to go and talk to someone, see if there was anyone that looked like they were standing in line alone and sort of needed a buddy to bring into the party. And so Haley brought her friend Eden, who I'm now really good friends with also, and you will not even believe this. Like, I literally cannot even describe to you how this worked out. So Haley rushes down to the city with Eden. The school they go to is about 20 minutes away, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So when they were off class in the afternoon, they just came down, met me there. We were sort of hanging out. I gave them the rundown of the situation, showed them the alleyway where they were unloading everything, and as soon as I showed them the alleyway where they were unloading everything, the reality hit them and they were like, oh my gosh. And so they sort of had the same mentality as me. It was like, even if we don't get into this party, which, like, the odds are 0. Like, the odds are literally, like, what are the odds? Honestly, what are the odds? Even if we don't get into this party, Miley Cyrus is going to be entering this building at some point tonight. And please, please keep in mind, I wouldn't do this for anyone. Like, I would probably do it for Miley Cyrus, Demi, Shawn Mendes. Basically, anyone that I would look up to as such an inspiration, I would definitely go out of my way to see. Especially if I'm sitting in the building next to where it's going to be happening. Like, what? I'm not going across the country to find this person. So, I guess word got out that the party was going to be happening. So, of course, like, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people start swarming the streets, start sort of surrounding the area. Police start barricading the alleyway, not letting anyone in. Luckily, Haley, Eden, and I were already in the alleyway with probably 30 or 40 other fans, who, a majority of which did not have invites to the party, but I guess they just knew that Miley Cyrus was going to be having the party, so they were just sort of chilling out there with hopes of meeting her when she got there. All of the police and security were keeping people out, and they were nice enough to let us stay back there since we were the OGs, we were already there. They just basically didn't want any chaos. Big black SUV pulls up. They brought Miley into the building. She didn't see anyone at this point, because basically what she was doing was she was going to rehearse because she was going to be performing some songs that night, and she was going just to hang out with family and friends. So we're sitting out there in the back of the building this whole time listening. We can literally hear her on the mic talking. There she was doing like a celebratory toast. So we're sitting out here listening to this angel's voice coming out of like the top little window. We were like, honestly, if we died today, at least we heard Miley's voice. So anyway, we just basically chilled out there for 45 minutes. I met a bunch of people out there that I really vibed with a lot. They were super nice, and we all just sort of got to know each other, hung out, we're just doing our thing. Obviously had this anxious feeling like, oh my gosh, she went into the building. Is she gonna go out of the building? Meanwhile, this whole time, I sort of, like, in my head, had pretty good feelings about the situation for later at the party, because I, in my mind, knew that this person's friend was gonna be coming. This person had already gone out of her way to figure this out, meet up with me, so I had no doubts that she wasn't gonna follow through with the plan to get me into the party. But I just wanted to share the experience so bad with Haley and Eden. I know they love Miley Cyrus. Who doesn't love Miley Cyrus? So I sort of made it a mission in my head to get them in as well. But first we wanted to meet Miley, obviously, and we knew that the party wasn't even going to be starting for another 5 hours, so a lot of the people that were going to be attending the party weren't even going to be showing up for a while, so there was no finessing to be done at this point. So then, about an hour later, she came out of the building, and I cannot even describe, like, seeing her in person was like, you're real. She came out smiling, wearing like bedazzled jeans, looked so freaking cute. It was the craziest thing ever because, you know, there were only like 30 of us out there, and all of us had talked, all of us were already like pretty close with each other, and we decided like we're not going to be those screaming fans, we're not going to freak out, we're not going to start yelling at her, it's going to be an intimate experience, we're going to all get our chance to talk to her. She walked out. When she got around to me, we just talked for maybe like 2 minutes. When I was taking the picture with Miley after I talked to her for a minute, for some reason I don't think she liked the angle that I was coming at, so she was like, here, let me do it. And she took my phone and took the selfie, so like forever her hands have touched my phone. But I'll include the picture here. I'm so sorry in advance, I look horrible, but like we can all look past that. I gave her a note, she held it like right here the whole time and sort of like told me that she would definitely read it, which felt amazing to me because I talked to her for maybe 2 minutes and it was It was pretty much just small talk, me congratulating her on her album. It's amazing how sometimes you meet someone and it's like, obviously I'm obsessed with her, so I'm gonna like her. She could literally punch me in the face and I would literally love her. I just got this real vibe off of her, and it was like, I know you're famous, but you're such a genuine human being. Like, so I told her I'd be seeing her later at the party, which shouldn't have made that promise if I didn't actually know. She got in the car, she left, and keep in mind, meanwhile, this entire time, everyone was so calm. Everyone was talking to her like... Everyone was so calm. Everyone was talking to her like she was another person, respecting her for the person that she was. I could tell she genuinely appreciated that. Like, she loved that she was getting treated as another person. She got in her car, she left, and like, that was the moment that it just hit everyone, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Like, everyone was freaking out all of a sudden, like, what just happened? How were we so calm and cool and collected during that entire time? Like, it did not make any sense. And so then I knew she was going to be coming back a couple hours later to host the actual party for family, friends, and then the 20 or 30 fans. And so that was when it was like, okay, this is a mission. I'm going to get Haley and Eden into this party no matter what the cost is. Well, not no matter what the cost is. So we went back around the front of the venue where basically people were going to be entering for the party. That was when we were in full finessing mode. Haley and Eden are both very extroverted, very outgoing, so they sort of went on their way talking to people, basically getting to know people before immediately being like, hi, do you have an extra pass for this party? So they're doing their thing. Meanwhile, I had met up with the girl that I had been talking to, and she told me her friend was going to be there in an hour, so I was pretty much set. 30 minutes later, Haley and Eden had both met a lovely human of their own to let them in. There were only like 2 people out of this line of 20 or 30 people that did not bring someone with them, so thank you God. And a couple hours later, the security let us into the party. It was like this magical place, like decorated so cool. It was literally insane. I'll include some pictures here. Miley performed a couple songs, there were videographers going around, basically just capturing the whole event, Polaroid cameras and all sorts of fun things set up for us to do. Oh my gosh, and you won't even believe who was there. I don't know, some people may not know who this is, but Miley's old best friend Leslie, who she mentions in that song, See You Again, that Leslie was at the party, and she introduced that Leslie. Which, like, I was like, Leslie? And so that was super cool, and I actually got to meet her parents, Tish and Billy. It was really quick, but I was just like, I really just want to let you know how amazing your children are and how blessed you guys are as parents to have such awesome children. And they were so nice. Like, Billy was like, bring it in, and gave me a fist bump, and her mom smiled and said thank you so much, like as if she doesn't hear that 50 times a day. Noah wasn't there, sadly. The rest of the weekend I had a really good time, but that was definitely a highlight. Please subscribe if you like the video. I know you can just click on the link in my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram, but it's definitely much easier to subscribe and works out better for both of us that way. Alright, so yeah, that was my story time. I hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. If you did, then please let me know, because I actually would love to do more story times like this, because I literally have so many crazy random stories from either trips or random things that have happened to me with famous people, or just like really other random, exciting, or dangerous or weird situations that I've been in that honestly are so funny, and I feel like if you had an interest in this, you may have an interest in some of my other stories. Also, I made these walls myself. Basically, take paint, like whatever Bear paint, whatever from Home Depot, and then I took silver glitter. So I would do like a, 1 foot by 1 foot, paint this area, and then you take a paper plate, fold it in half, put glitter in it, then you take a blow dryer, and you literally just go and blow the glitter onto it. So, needless to say, this room was a freaking mess for, I don't even know how long. My dad was freaking out about glitter being all over the house for weeks. But it's all under control now. The glitter is gone, but it's still yeah, it kind of rubs off a little bit. What are you gonna do? But thank you guys. I love you. I will see you next time, maybe for another story time. Bye.